Assalamu alaikum. I'm very honored to be here, and I'd like to first acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay my respect for the elders past and present, the elders in the room, the future leaders in the room as well. It's an honor to be here, and I'm not going to talk a lot. I'm going to just introduce what I do, and I'll get you to ask questions if you want me to. Answer questions, I'm happy to. I'm an Arab, by the way. I was here early. Where's my handcuffs? Because this is not on. Anyway, I can't cover the big shoes I have to fill after what we've just heard, and the one before, the lady before me as well, and the chairs before me. I'm just going to talk about who I am, what I do, and encourage you to join the police or an emergency service or be part of the community, because we are part of the community. And a lot of the times I hear from the brothers and sisters in Islam here in Australia about, oh, why do you join the police? They're racist, they don't like us, they're anti-Islam, they're anti-this, and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, hang on. Maybe they are, and they are sometimes, but what are we going to do about it? Are we going to just sit behind our desks and our computers and just talk about it and say they're racist, or are we going to join them and try to change them? And this is what I decided to do. So, 17 years ago, after September 11, I decided to join the police because I wanted to start the change, start the flow of making things different, start the flow of getting people to realize and recognize that Muslims are not as bad as the media make us to be. So I applied, I started my application just after September 11, and my application took 2.5 years. 2.5 years. Usually an average person who wants to apply to become a police officer right now takes 6 months to 12 months. So mine took 2.5 years. Why? Because of that thing on my head. So, why I'm telling you all this? Because if I can do it, you can. And because if you put your head and your mind and you want to do something, nothing should stop you. Nothing at all. So anyway, 17 years ago, I applied to become a police officer. I had to sit down and do 5 interviews. An average person does one. I did 5 interviews. I was asked weird questions about, why do you wear this, and how many times a day can you pray, and how is this going to affect the policing, and what can we do about it, and blah. Anyway, I answered all these questions, and I joined the police, and I started from down there. Started as at the time we called them probational constables. I did my time in the academy, and I've heard a lot of things. People used to come to me and ask me if, do I have hair underneath? Have I dyed my hair green? And I said, yeah, actually I do. I change my hair colour every day like you guys. We ask silly questions. At the time I thought they were silly, but they're not. It's a form of da'wah. So when you work with people who don't know anything about Islam, the only thing they know about it when they see on TV, this is where you come in. And then you're on the streets arresting people. How do you arrest someone when they don't, when technically you should be holding male, female, all that stuff. Again, I had to do all that because to prove that we are part of the community. And I heard a lot of talks about people telling me, hey, how are you arresting a brother or a sister? You shouldn't be, you should be helping them. Actually, no. Excuse me, my Arabic is not very good when it comes to that one, but it says you support your brother or your sister if they're doing something wrong. You don't support them by saying good on you for doing something wrong. You support them by saying you are doing something wrong, you should get out of it. So when I'm arresting a drug dealer who's a brother, I reckon I'm helping the Muslim community more than I'm arresting an average person who's done something small compared to this. So, what else? By being a police officer, I've opened the eyes of the police about Islam, about what we can do and what we can't do. I've helped have prayer areas. So now, Victoria Police, most police stations have a small multi-faith room, we call it, but it's technically a prayer room for Muslims because no one else uses it except Muslims. So we have prayer rooms. We have 17 prayer rooms, including 2 in the police academy. 2 in the new buildings going to come up in the city for the Victoria Police. And federal police have said, oh, Victoria Police have prayer rooms. We're going to have prayer rooms now. So we've changed things. We've introduced hijab. The police issue hijab. No one else had it. It was the first in Australia, the first in Australasia actually. The hijab that I'm wearing right now has went to America, Canada, Turkey borrowed our hijab. So we are trying to do something to open up people's eyes about Muslims. We have a police association now, a Muslim police association. We started with 3 members. Now we have about 100 members, a bit under. So alhamdulillah, we're getting there. There are a lot of Muslims in the police, but they were too scared to say they were Muslims. Now they walk and they're proud of who they are. So for those who say you shouldn't be a police officer, you shouldn't be part of the government because the government doesn't like us, I say, well, hang on, I'm here, I'm standing in front of you, and I'm telling you that it's better to be in there. We infiltrate, okay? We make things change by being in there. We try to change their minds by being in there. I'm not going to talk a lot. I want you to ask me questions. It's better to steer things towards where you want to go and what sort of things you want to know, rather than me just talking to you all the time. So if you have any questions to me, please let me know. I'm more than happy to answer your questions. If not, I'll keep blabbing. Oh, there's one.
Hey, I'm coming.
Sorry, sir.
You got it. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
How do you handle racism?
How do I handle racism? I laugh about it. So, I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was working the tennis. So, as a sergeant, I've got a crew. We go to the tennis. We make sure that everyone's safe. And that was yesterday. I still happen. So you talk to someone and the first thing they say, babe, I'm not talking to you because you're a babe Muslim. Okay, man, no problem. You don't have to talk. I can arrest you. And take the handcuffs off and here you go, man. Put it on yourself because I can't touch you. So you either laugh about it, you brush it off, or you can make it, let it eat you up and build the anger and build the fear, and you go to work not happy. So for me, I'll laugh about it, or it depends on the situation. Sometimes I just sit back and joke. Another example, some guy came to me and was wearing, as you know, Victorian police would wear vests, ballistic vests, and some guy says to me, oh, I don't like you, you look like Osama. Thanks, mate. Osama's dead anyway, but it's alright. And he kept going and going and going. I was smiling, and at the end I said, see that button on my vest? If I press it, we're going to have a blast. So it depends what blast you're talking about. Speaking about blast from an Australian perspective, blast means we're happy. Yeah? But he thought it was a boom blast. So he ran away. So if you let it eat you up, it will eat you up. But I joke about it. It still hurts sometimes. Sometimes sit in the corner of the house saying, I don't want to go to work, especially after when you see some alleged terror attacks or things like that happen. It freaks me out sometimes thinking, I don't want to go to work again and start explaining to people why Muslims are doing all this. And I walk away and say, actually no, this is my dawah, I don't want to keep doing it that way. Any more questions?
Please raise your hands if you have a question. Someone will come to you with a microphone.
Come on, next one.
We're going to go down the line now. So, my question for you, if you're trying to, say you're trying to convince us to go into the police force.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to. I would love to have more people in the government, whether it's police, emergency services, ambulance, be part of it. Sorry, keep going.
So, one of the big parts of being a police officer is going to a police academy.
Yes.
What I want to know is how long you had to train through the academy and what the hardest thing was during that time.
By the way, I am now one of the instructors in the police academy, so now I teach police to become police. And this is where I wanted to go because I can now influence young minds who are anti-everything to look at me and wonder, oh geez, our instructor is a Muslim hijabi, then okay, Muslims are alright. Hopefully. Anyway, how long is the training? The training is 33 weeks. You get paid from day one when you join the Victorian Police. So the moment they send you a letter saying, welcome, you're becoming a police officer, the day you start in the police academy, the day you start being paid. So 33 weeks, which includes law, which I teach, includes training and all that. But during those 33 weeks, you have weeks off, 2 weeks off, I think, every 11 weeks, you go and do training on a job in a police station and come back to the academy. So it's not just going to class every day. So something to think about.
Coming.
Stop going to the back. Assalamualaikum.
I don't know much about police ranking. What does a sergeant do?
A sergeant means, okay, when you start in the police, you start as a probational constable, which is, we call it desert shoulders, which is nothing on the shoulder. And then 2 years I become a first constable, and then I think 2 years after that you become a senior constable. And then you have to apply, you go up the ranks that way, but then you have to apply to become a sergeant, which is in charge of a group of police officers. When they go out in the divvy van, you see them in divvy van. There's always a sergeant overlooking them, making sure they're doing the right thing, they're taking the right decisions and supporting them. So this is the rank I'm in right now. But you go higher and higher.
My question was, being a female would be, I assume it would be hard to have your opinion or your decision to be not respected. How do you find that being a female and a Muslim? And when you give orders or you express your opinions, how is it taken?
You have to earn respect. You can't just force your respect. My rank can make me force respect on people, but I don't do it that way. You earn their respect because they want you. You want them at the end to listen to you and do what you tell them to do, but when they're happy to do it. Okay, they can do it forcefully, but they're not going to do it right. So you earn their respect by being down to earth, by being honest, by making sure that you're genuine, making sure that they're good, they're in good health and all that. Yes, sometimes people don't listen to you because you're a female. Add to that the fact that you've got a hijab on. I'll get used to it. I'm used to just walking in and saying, Anna, look at me, yeah, I look like a ninja, that's fine. It's good to have a ninja as a sergeant, you'll love it. And you break barriers by laughing, by making sure that you know who you are. And that you prove to them that you know what you're talking about. It's not just, I'm a sergeant because I'm a hijab. And I've heard it a lot. Oh, you only made a sergeant because you have a hijab on. They want to, tick off the Muslim thing. Actually, no. I should have been a sergeant 5 years ago, but again, because of who you are, because of the hijab that you wear, people are too scared to put you up in that position. So you have to work double hard to become where you are. And this is what I had to do. I worked harder than most people to make it there. All right, cool. No more questions. Before I let you go, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to say to you that no matter what you want to do in your life, whether it's policing, whether it's doctors, lawyers, average Arabs wants to be doctors, lawyers, and not accountant. Yeah, accountants is, whatever you want to do it with passion. Do it with love. And if you don't like what you do, don't do it. Change. Do something else that you do. Because the more you're passionate, the better you can do in your life. Anyways, thank you. Assalamu alaikum.